everybody, welcome back. In this episode I'm gonna talk about some myths that they have to do with the breastfeeding, and I'm gonna share some of the ideas that exist among people but they are not true. The first one, I'm gonna talk about the idea that some women has that the breast milk after 1 year old is not valuable. It doesn't have any value for the baby. Actually, this is not true. It is true that the breast milk changes after 1 year, that the baby is 1 year old, but it is not true that it's not valuable. It still has lots of antibodies and provide lots of nutrition for the growth of the baby. Actually, the World Health Organization recommends women to breastfeed during the first 2 years of life of the baby, but still even after 2 years the breast milk of the mother still has lots of nutrition and lots of health benefits for the child. So if you want to breastfeed your child after 1 year old, is still very healthy and very valuable for your child. The other myth that exists among the people is that the mother cannot produce enough milk. Actually, in the biological way of producing the milk is that the body of the woman is gonna produce as much milk as the baby can ask. Of course, in the first weeks of the after you delivered, your body is still establishing the milk in your body, and during this time you might have even discomfort during the breastfeeding, and when you are even the first mom you might not even know to do this kind of process. So my recommendation is to ask for lactation specialist or for to your doctor about different advices that they can help you with the process of breastfeeding, because your body can produce enough milk for your child. There are even certain techniques that I have explained even in other videos that helps the mother to increase the amount of milk that they produce for their children. And in this way, if you want, you can even offer formula to your child in case that you think that you cannot breastfeed your baby, you will not have enough milk for your baby. So in this way you make sure that your child has enough milk for them. Another myth is that lots of women, they think that breastfeeding is painful. Actually, breastfeeding is a very natural way of feeding your child. It might be painful in a certain situation, but usually it is not painful, and it is a very natural way of feeding your child, and it is a very nutrition and healthy for your baby. The other thing is that some women, they think that when they are sick they have to stop the breastfeeding. The thing that I can say is that you always discuss with your doctor about this kind of problem, uh, because lots of medication and also lots of health condition doesn't affect the milk or doesn't affect the process of breastfeeding with your baby. But of course there are even certain medication that they are dangerous and they are not safe to try during the time that you are pregnant. So before you try you start using any kind of medicine, you always consult or discuss with your doctor if that is safe to take this kind of medication during the time that you are breastfeeding. But before, if you really want to breastfeed your child and you have health conditions, you always make this kind of decision to stop or not to stop breastfeeding with your doctor advice. The other thing is about the food that you ate during the breastfeeding. uh, Lots of women, they say that you should eat very plain during the time that you are breastfeeding. Actually, it is very important to eat very healthy, because lots of nutritions that the baby take from the breast, it depends on the way how you feed. If you find any discomfort in your child after you eat a certain food, you can avoid it. But eating very healthy and eating lots of variety food is very important to provide all the nutrition to your child. So in this way he can get uh, everything that he needs to grow through through your milk. The idea is to stop the breastfeeding when you start working. Actually, this kind of idea depends on what kind of job you're gonna do. There are jobs that you can take some time off and you can come and breastfeed your baby if you are close to your work, or there are even jobs that they can provide you some space and some time to express your milk through the pumping and to give to your child. There are lots of techniques, and I have prepared even another video that helps mothers who work to provide milk to their children. So in this way you can pack your milk, and you can transport, and you can give your milk through the bottle. So in this way there are some kind of options for women that they work and they want to breastfeed their children, but still depends on what kind of job and depends on what country you are to continue to breastfeed while you are working. Another myth that has lots of women in the idea is that the breastfeeding does not allow the mother to get pregnant again. Actually, this is a myth. There are women that they have been breastfeeding and they have also experienced another pregnancy during the time that they are breastfeeding. So that's not true. Only if you are under a birth control, or if you are still not getting your periods back after you deliver. In these cases, you might not get pregnant, but breastfeeding, it is not a scientific reason uh, to prevent the women from having another pregnancy.